Hey Pisces, so I'm sorry the videos are so late. Things were not cooperating in Jamaica after the Capricorn and Virgo videos, so I didn't do them and I'm doing them now from New York. So I hope that's okay. Moving forward, January and the trends that set up the rest of the year. For you guys, Pisces, you really are going to be coming into a place of power. Okay, so for you, what does that mean? That means that we really have to start looking at how you feel about yourself and not as a reflection of your friends, not as a reflection of the people you love, but how you feel about you. Yes, the question is always there for a Pisces. Am I loved? In any situation, there is that question. Am I loved? But what I'm asking you is, are you loved by you? I see that you have all this love to give, right? I see that. I see how much there is, and we have talked about it several times. What's different about this time? What's different is that now we talk about not what you've done for others, not even what you've done for yourself, but how you really feel internally about yourself. What parts of yourself have you really left behind? What parts of yourself are not being indulged or addressed, especially if it's creative? What parts are you putting away? What parts do you not show other people because you're afraid that they'll stop loving you? Because that's another secret fear, right? One secret fear you guys have is that nobody loves you, and the other one is that the people who do love you will stop somehow if you don't work hard for their love. But with yourself, you're the complete opposite. You don't work very hard at loving yourself, right? On yourself, you guys are so hard. I mean, and then you work really hard at your relationships with others and really, helping them feel good about who they are. And also, you work really hard in terms of your job. But where's that pat on the back that happens? Why does it have to get to the point where you feel like this before anyone or even you notice that you need to indulge the parts of you that are being ignored? What do I mean? I mean, do things have to come to this point before your shadow side is addressed, before you delve into that part of yourself that is being ignored and say, okay, what is it that you want? Do you want to write? Do you want to paint? Do you want to jet ski? What is it? What is it that is being ignored in me that's keeping me from feeling the best about myself in this situation, this month, this year, this life? You know, am I loved by myself? And am I teaching other people how to love me by how I'm loving myself? How many people in your life indulge you? How many people, say, oh, let her, indulge in that. That's good for her. Or are you more of just a go to help, do for me, gimme, gimme, gimme. And you get so wrapped up in that, here, 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 give it away, take it, take it, take it, that there is no kind of slowing down and saying, checking in with yourself and saying, hey, what about you? How are you feeling? How are you doing? Do how do you feel about you? Where's your self-worth or value at, right? We just talked about this with Aquarius, and that makes sense to me that you guys would be having this kind of similar thing going on. Because, and let's look at these cards while we talk, because you see there are false senses of security and worth that also appear with Pisces, right? You have this kind of Pisces self-worth too, right? That's like completely like off the rails, kind of too much, you know, super overconfident Pisces kind of thing going on, but that's not rooted in anything real, right? That's a reaction to being attacked or a reaction to being criticized, right? This idea of a new year and you get to create a new you know, that really has to do with what you let yourself dive deeply into. And the only things that you really feel like diving deeply into are the things that make you happy. But I feel like you don't indulge yourself in the things that make you happy. You just do things for others and you feel like that's the only kind of happiness you deserve. But there is an emotional, you know, there's an emotional kind of victory that you're looking for here where you finally put yourself first. And guess what? When you do that is when your money luck changes and money starts coming in. You see, because when you have an energy of too much giving away, money is not attracted to you. But as soon as you start to pull back on that and kind of look at yourself and say, hey, you know, what parts of me do I want to give to and pay attention to? What parts of me are being ignored? What in this new year, what part of me do I want to focus on? Then all of a sudden the world opens up and starts bringing you money, because what you're doing is you're showing by your actions that you can also be a taker and not just a giver. And of course, we talk about this a lot with Pisces because you do have such a problem receiving and such a problem oversharing. Now here we see coming into 2017 that you will finally start to receive, but you must prepare for that. And the way that you prepare for that is by receiving from yourself, by giving to yourself and receiving from yourself. How do you do that? What is it that that voice inside you wants to do? Is there an art exhibit that you've been wanting to go to for years you've never gotten around to? Is there some film that you really want to see that's artsy and experimental and nobody wants to go with you, but you should go anyway? Do you need to go buy a set of paints or, you know, get a piano off Craigslist? They're free. You just have to go pick them up. Do you need to do something to indulge the part of you that right now is being boxed up and put away, and instead you're doing stuff for others? Because that is the part of you moving into this year that will become really, really important. It's also the part of you that will attract money to you. It's also the part of you that will attract love to you, right? So it's really important to get away from this false egoic sense of self and indulge the authentic parts of yourself. So when that person comes along, when that money comes along, you will be in a place where you are able to receive, you know, where you have learned how to receive. And then your perfect kind of match comes in, you know, because you've learned that lesson and because you've become more authentically yourself. Okay, and this theme kind of follows, let's pull an outcome card. This theme kind of follows you throughout the year, where this new me continues to evolve and you're quickly becoming the person who can attract exactly what they want to themselves simply by paying more attention to, number one, to yourself. The more you love yourself, Pisces, the easier things are going to get and the easier things are going to flow to you. The easiest way to get to love yourself more is to do the things that you sincerely want to do. The way to find out what you sincerely want to do, if that's a voice you can't really hear anymore, is, it's so funny that this is the card that came up, because what I was going to say is you need to go back to that sense of childhood that you had, that sense of being a kid that you had, where your inner child, that inner life, speaks to you and says, hey, wouldn't it be fun to do this? Or wouldn't it be fun to do that? Or hey, let's go do this. That voice, if you listen to, you will become more and more yourself, and you will attract quite some money and quite some love to you moving into this year. But it's really important that you come from this, sorry, and then this card popped out. So a slow-moving love energy will be coming your way. Someone who will start off as being, just a flirt, but will become more with time, right? This building of a relationship happens after you get in touch with this person who lives inside you and puts this person first instead of the world and, socializing and drama and all the rest of it. Okay, so super promising as long as you come from come from a place of, being authentic and honest with that inner child. And also letting this romantic situation develop the way it needs to, because you are taking ego out, because you aren't giving too much and you are going into a place of being receptive, because you aren't overworking your friendships or your relationships and not only giving too much, but expecting some sort of strange sense of gratitude back, almost kind of guilt that you place when you give too much, right? We've talked about that before. In this situation, you are devoid of that. Your experience here is devoid of that. And what takes its place when you push past that experience and when you push past needing that level of drama or that level of misunderstanding or feeling used in your life, when you push past that and really put yourself sincerely first, more than the person you're interested in and what's going on in their life, more than your job, more than any of that, if you put this person first, your inner self, your inner child first, then all this that before seemed, that it was just about getting right and then it would imbalance, all that will start to straighten itself out, because this is really the missing piece. Okay, this is the part of you not being addressed. I would suggest doing some reading on the Jungian shadow side. That will be very beneficial for you coming into this new year. You may be very comfortable with one fish and not know much about the other fish. So as a dual sign, as a mutable sign, as someone who has been dealing with Mercury retrograde, as someone who is going to kind of shoot out of Mercury retrograde into a period of, insightful experiences, self-love, listening more to yourself, this is just a great time for you, Pisces. And all the work that you've been doing to get to this place the past few months, all the stuff we've been talking about, kind of culminates into this moment. Okay, so really good reading, really good January. Looks like a really good year coming up for you. Just, keep focusing on yourself. I love you guys. I will see you in February. Bye.